everyone. It's a rainy day in Lagos. It's a rainy day in Lagos. Yes, so how are you feeling? Are you warm? Are you cold? Are you taking a cup of tea or coffee to keep you through the day? All right, it's JIB live on Hot 93.3. I am Joy EC Bewaji. You know what we do? We talk, we play good music, we converse, and we always have a very interesting topic to talk about every day. And today is no different. Okay, I want to talk about Ubi Franklin, Emma Nyra, Iyanya, and probably Yvonne, because for some reason they threw her into this entire situation that's been going on. That's Yvonne Nelson. I want to talk about it. The part where Iyanya said, Ubi was abusive, but in the relationship he had with Emma Nyra, and it's really sad. And he went ahead to talk about the fact that he advised her to leave. You come from a good home, your parents will have your back. Why are you in this situation? And typical of Nigerian issues, Ubi also came out and do you know what he did to Yvonne Nelson? As if it reduces or diminishes what he did to Emma Nyra. Well, it's always a competition here. Who is more abusive than the other? Who is more stupid than the other? Who is suffering more than the other? I mean, have you had friends where you're complaining about something and your own is small, my own, and they just turn everything up on top of his head? So we're not asking him about Yvonne. We're asking him about Emma. But that's a long story. And we're not getting into the nitty-gritty of it because we don't have the nitty-gritty of it. And, Ubi is such a smart person. You have to be very careful when you get into certain contracts with people. Your manager getting a law degree, being a lawyer, that's a double barrel facing, pointing right at you. He's going to win you in so many. He's managing you. He knows the law. He has legal wisdom and knowledge that you don't have. You're signing stuff you don't know what you're signing. All of these things. It's crazy. And it's not in Nigeria. Actually, it's worse abroad. In America, my goodness, they'll kill your career. Look at Camilonia. Where is he? It's just you sign just one wrong signature somewhere and your entire career is somebody else's bread and butter for 10 years. And no, they did that to somebody. Oh, that girl that sang something. Oh, I remember her name. A light girl, a white girl. It's so rampant. So you have to be careful when your manager is a lawyer because you don't even know what you're signing. But anyways, I want to talk about the relationship part of this situation with Iyanya and Ubi, and then Ubi's out. Ubi's already out already. He's saying Iyanya is jealous. Iyanya is lying. Did you know what he did to Yvonne? Christ. These are men though, men with kids. Okay, Iyanya doesn't have a child. Does he have a child? Okay, whatever. Anyways, so what do you think about domestic issues? I know we always talk about it. We are always talking about domestic situations. Always. It's never going to end. As long as there's domestic violence, there's always going to be conversations like this. But I really want to know why do victims, especially those who have the power, why don't they leave? We spend a lot of time talking about the women who are helpless because she needs 1 naira to take care of her children. She doesn't know where to go. Okay, what about women who are empowered, who are educated, who have professional degrees, who have a career, who probably even have a home? They're coming from a home that is, they have wealthy parents or comfortable parents or at least work parents. Why don't they leave when they find themselves in a situation where they are being abused by some random boyfriend or relationship? Why don't they leave? I really want to know what you think, and I'm hoping we don't go the typical route of she's helpless, because I mean, you have your money, you have your dreams, you have education, you probably have parents who would accept you if you come back. They'll probably even get police to do anything to the guy. All of these things, you have all of this behind you, and you decide to stay in an abusive relationship. Why? I would like to know. I'll give an example of someone later on, but I'd really like to know what we think. I have WhatsApp comments already, but I will take them after. Oh my God! Now, literally, they had to put Chris Brown. Domestic violence victims, women especially, don't speak out because they feel the partner is a big thing that happened to them and fear they might not get anything as big and wonderful as him should they speak out and eventually leave. Also, most ladies will be using relationship with celebs to do pepper them and feel they will be cajoled by those who really got peppered. Remember, our society judges ladies by the number of relationships they were not able to keep. Like she has dated 7 men in the space of 5 years, baddest girl, no home training, etc. Her husband broke her virginity and they've been married 20 years. Excellent. Things like that. You know, very true. I totally agree with what she's saying. So because, you know, we want to appeal to society. We want for society to see us as good girls. I mean, that's so important to women. I don't understand why. Anyway, so that's so important to women for society to brand you as a good woman, virtuous woman, you know, and then because of that, she's willing to take any crap quietly, secretly, without making noise about it, and because the humiliation of confessing that you are in an appalling situation with a man, the humiliation alone, the embarrassment alone would kill a lot of women because of the patriarchal situation that we have in Africa, for instance. And you know, it's like walking with your head, because if anyone should feel humiliated, if anyone should feel embarrassed, it should actually be the abuser. But in some ways, the victim always comes out feeling feeling embarrassed, even in first world countries. So this thing I don't even think it has anything to do with third world. I think it's the way we nurture men and women. I think it's the way we nurture boys and girls, and what they consume when they are young, and they consume these things and they become these things when they are old. And no matter the status they achieve in life, they still go back to form where they are still that little girl or little boy, and all the information they consumed as little people, and it continues to show in their lives, in their life choices, especially with partners. I have a comment here from Juliet Choma. She says, "Good morning, JIB. There are many reasons why people don't speak up, but the one that stands out for me all the time is what will society say, especially when it comes to influential people. What will my people that look up to me say? What will my mentees say? Will I be able to hang out with my married friends in our usual hangout spot? It is strictly for happy married women. What will my pastor say? What will my fans say? What will my members of staff say? What will and what will not? Society has made it very difficult for people to leave abusive relationships. See her, they say. She can't even keep a home. How are we sure she can even keep her business running? But like I always say, society will always say, even if your relationship is the best thing on earth. So therefore, screw them and leave and leave the abusive relationship." This is really profound. She says a lot of things. And, you know, even whilst I was reading this, I was exhausted with all the people we are supposed to please just to live a life that you might even die tomorrow. I mean, can we not appreciate how transient life is? I remember when I was just 15. I remember when I was 21. Look at me now. Yeah, that time waits for nobody. And then you spend all of that time trying to please people who don't even care about you, who don't remember you, who are also, you know, struggling with their own demons. And it's just such a funny thing. Like it's important to live a life of dignity and honor and integrity. But to live a life trying to please people is the saddest way to live. And reading Chama's stuff, I just felt exhausted for any woman who goes around trying to please everybody she just states here. Fans, religion, society, family. When do you come around to pleasing yourself? You know? So let me hear. Send your comment. Let me hear your thoughts. Send your comments to WhatsApp 08. Let me read your thoughts actually. 0818-008-9933. Okay, so I'm told that some of you send your messages as text. Please don't send the messages as text. Please send it. Don't send it as SMS. Send it as WhatsApp on WhatsApp 0818-008-9933. This is JIB Live. So we're talking about domestic abuse, inspired by the whole rancor between Ubi Franklin and Iyanya and the accusations they are both throwing to each other regarding abusing their partners. at some point, which is just really sad. So I am asking a very specific question. Why do women, especially women who are empowered, who have the power to actually leave abusive situations, why don't they leave abusive situations? Send me your WhatsApp messages, 0818-008-9933. I have Billy Kiss here. Billy Kiss, who says, hi, Joy. One of the reasons they don't leave is because of fear. When people go through abuse, they have a variety of emotions. Even though thoughts of speaking out or leaving may come to mind, they are held back by fear of societal judgment, financial capability, and loss of custody of their children when kids are in the picture. In response to my ex's verbal and emotional abuse, I was afraid of repeating my mom's story. She separated from my dad when I was 6, and afraid of taking care of my daughter, and I was afraid of taking care of my daughter alone. Before I went for counseling, it bothered me briefly also what people would say, the stigma surrounding divorce and kids from broken home. I overcame that fear by desiring to stay alive to raise my daughter. I saw a better definition of broken home recently, a home devoid of love between the parents. Wow. Thank you for sharing this very personal story with us. Thank you for sharing that. I also, Billy Kisu's story reminds me of someone that I know. She is in an abusive marriage, and what really gets on my nerves with that marriage is the fact that he also abuses their little daughter, like physically, and she has scars, and I'm like, why are you with somebody who not only abuses you, and he also physically abuses your daughter? What she said, this is an educated person, someone that went to school, went to university, has a degree, runs her own business. And she said, her mother, that she was ashamed of her mother for a long time. And I asked why. And like you said, her mother left, divorced her father, and she was this very happy woman who just didn't care. She had a big house. She was living her life, and a lot of people didn't approve of it. Didn't approve of the way she was living. And I was like, wait, your mom is still alive? Yes, your mom is still alive. Where is she now? Oh, she has this really big house in so and so state. I think she's happy. She said, yeah, she's very happy. She's just not the norm. And I just thought the person I was talking to was the saddest person in the world. You have a mother who literally defined the life she wanted for herself. She left the marriage she didn't want. She has a place of her own. She's not on the street begging. She's not sobbing somewhere. She's not subservient to anyone. She's king by herself. She has her home. She hosts her friends. You are upset because that is not the definition of womanhood in your own little corner of the world. And you would rather choose to be in an abusive marriage than find your mother's strength. And this is somebody that has a mother like that would. And she also said that her mother has told her so many times, if you are unhappy in your marriage, you better get up and get out. And you are not. And that was when I decided, that was when I realized that this thing is deeper than the woman doesn't have money to leave, or she's doing it for the children. There is a deep selfishness about the situation. And I'm not going to go deep into it, because when you go deep into stuff like that, it seems like you are victim shaming any people. But I don't understand how you have a woman so powerful. I think I want to see that her mother, like, I stand that woman. I don't see how you see, and that is our mother's generation, not even now that we are so liberal. A woman, she does that, and instead of you to tap into her strength, you go ahead and be a total opposite of what your mother represents, and you are suffering in a marriage. You get pregnant again in the marriage. She's abusing the one you have given birth to, and you dare get pregnant again. And in some ways, we are just only supposed to talk about the abuser. Aren't you at this point? Isn't she at this point an accomplice of abuse towards the child, where they beat the child and you don't get justice for your child? You don't leave the marriage. You don't leave the person. You just stay because. All right. Okay. So that's it. I really want to know what you think about women who are empowered, who are educated, but still decide to remain in abusive, violent relationships. Why do they make that choice? let me know. Send me your WhatsApp message 0818-008-9933. I have all for you, years and years. It's JIB Live on Hearts 93.3. We are still talking about domestic abuse and why empowered women, 2019 women with all of the knowledge and information out there, why they still stay in abusive relationship. And please, I need to make people understand I'm not victim shaming. That's not the idea. I am asking very valid questions so that, we can understand what's going on. It's not victim shaming. I just want to understand what's going on. That's just the only way we can move on, right? We would understand why people do what they do. It's really for the sake of our children, so that we put out the right narrative out there that they can live by. Because we lived by the narrative our parents left for us. And I've struggled with that narrative for a very long time. I don't understand it, yo. Like, no, I have a right to live a life, the life I want. And I promised myself one thing, and this might sound very controversial, but I did tell, I'm not going to mention marriage to my kids ever. I'm not even going to it's not going to come in conversation. Like, no. If they come one day and say, oh, mom, look at, I found someone. Like, oh, I'll be like, yeah, well done. But I'm not going to go like, hey, why did you do that? Don't you know you're going to be married? I can't wait for you to get married. Nah, it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. They will find love eventually if they want. And if they find the person, I'm just going to ask a simple question. Is he good to you? Is he good to you? Yeah. All right. So I have a message here on WhatsApp. Hi Ify. Ify says, there's so many reasons. So I would just say societal pressure. What shocks me, though, is the reason why we all know these reasons and are still held down by them. When I took a decision to quit my marriage, I realized how deep these things are. Even my siblings who saw my pains and the fact that I was gradually dying were making excuses. In fact, they all ran out of ideas. It's crazy. Wow, Ify. Wow. Thank you for sharing that. Woo, that is okay. I'm just speechless for a minute. And she's so right. And there's something she says. She says, is the reason that we all know these reasons and we still let these reasons hold us down and people still make excuses. Empowered families, they still make excuses for these things. And I do believe, right? I do believe it is the content we feed our children when they are young. I still go back to all of these things. And it might seem I'm beefing this whole entire culture, but this Cinderella thing, that Snow White thing, it might seem like a very small thing, but those things destroyed the esteem of young girls. And then Nollywood is not helping matters where somebody rapes you and then you get married to the person, or they throw, and this is the very popular one. Oh my God, this one gets on my nerves. Where the man throws her load out of the house, yeah, and she cries and cries and cries and cries, and then she always goes back to her family home, right? And then she keeps praying and praying and praying and praying and praying to go back to the same abuser, right? And then at the end of the day, yeah, before to God be the glory thing, yeah, she actually goes back. And they want us to start clapping in 2019. No, that is the victory that woman has. The fact that she went back to her abuser. This man would have abused. I mean, we all know so many Nollywood scripts like that. The man would have abused and abused and abused. And even me watching, why am I even watching this crap? And then he throws her out and brings a hot chick. Not like she wasn't hot, but she brings the and then she goes and she cries. She's always crying, always beggarly. And then at the end of the day, the hot chick is a witch. The guy they always let the man just get away with everything, right? And then he drives the hot chick and then he brings his woman back. And to God be the glory. And I'm done. So anyway, so I think all of those things affect the way women see life. I have never read the Muse and Boone to the end. I didn't watch Cinderella, nothing. I love Nollywood though. Hello, Nolly. I only watch what I want to watch on Nollywood. I don't do all this pedestrian stuff that they show. I'm not going to do that to myself. I'm not going to do that to my kids. I actually feel it is what you feed your children when they are young that they carry on all through their life. No matter any information they consume as adults, it reflects on what where they're coming from. That's why they say, and I believe it strongly, take be very serious and take very seriously your children's kindergarten, primary education. It's the foundation, right? If they miss how to speak English and write and all of those basic stuff in that particular period of time, they will never be able to recover. That's what when we invest so much in the primary level of education, it's because of stuff like that. And that is also how it works with what they consume as children. I'll take one more message. I have so many messages. Okay, so I'll take one more message. This is from Jumoke. Jumoke says, sometimes because they are themselves arrogant and judgmental in comment about other people's experiences, it is hard for them to express the same thing when it comes to them. I totally agree. That one I agree. Women are always every woman is trying to be the perfect woman, and they always want to give the perfect advice. If you have on social media that somebody left her marriage, it is the women that will be on the comment. You see, that is why it is very important to cut your hair. That is why it's very important to cook by 11 p.m. That is why it's very important. They will start giving random, ridiculous advice, right? So when you spend all your time trying to be that person, always giving random advice to everything a woman does, when you now see, when your own now happens, you'll be like, no, nah, I will die here. There's no way they're going to shame me. Okay, I'll take some music. I'll be back. All right, we're still here. JIB live on Hot 93.3. I am taking your comments on WhatsApp 0818-008-9933. Tell me, why do you think women, especially empowered women, stay in abusive relationships? Who comments everywhere? I have one here from Ire Yimika. She says, I know most people think that fear of what people will say makes domestic abuse victims maintain sealed lips, but I think Stockholm Syndrome is the most likely culprit. This is because most victims have many insane reasons why the abuser abused them, but don't really believe that the abuser abused them. Simply, he or she is an abuser. Okay, she's saying that, because of Stockholm Syndrome, most victims believe there is a reason. They caused the reason for the abuse, and not just because the abuser is an abuser. She continues, then comes the issue of whom do I speak to? Even with the occasional moment of sanity, who can they speak to that will, 1, listen without judgment, 2, comfort and assure them that they do deserve to be better treated, and 3, get them the particular kind of help needed to get out of the situation. A long-term victim of domestic abuse is usually broken to the point. I totally agree with Ire Yimika, but I do want to say something. The truth is, most victims do not want you to eventually tell them to leave. So, and if you don't want to hear that, there is no way you can come to me, for instance, and I will tell you, okay, let's manage the situation when it comes to physical violence. There's just no way I'm going to give that kind of advice, right? So people go to church instead, or religious centers, whatever religion it is, where they are promised, that it will be stopped if the woman is more submissive. That is taking all of the situation, taking all of the burden and placing it even on the victim. They like that situation better, where people are telling them he's going to get better, he's going to stop it, all you need to do is do this and this and this, making you, the victim, carrying all of the burden. But when you ask all the, realists, they will tell you, he's spitting you need to leave. They don't want to hear that. That's the problem. They don't want to hear the truth, that their lives are in danger and all of that. It reminds me of that Arowolo's case, the guy who was eventually sentenced to death when he killed his wife. She went to her father, stayed with the father. This is a banker, for Christ's sake, right? She goes to her father, stays with the father, and the father says, don't go back. Don't go back. But you see, women have been conditioned. It's not at that age, at 30-something, that he can now change it. It is what she has heard when she was growing up, what she read, what she was watching on television, what she was listening to on radio. Those are and that's why we need to change the narrative for the sake of our children. When a banker that probably earns more than the person she's with is abused, and even when the father says don't go back and she goes back, it has nothing to do with what is happening in her present present circumstance. It has nothing to do with the society of now. It has everything to do with everything she's been fed with that has formed her to be who she is. Right? Okay. I have a message here on WhatsApp. It says true talk. So interesting. I love the message you read. Yeah, me too. I like the message. All right, keep sending your messages. I'll try to read as many messages as I can before the end of the show. But you know we have to play music, right? It's not just talk. So I'll be back. All right. So much to read and not enough time. People are actually sending private messages that they don't want me to actually read on air. I'm going to respect that. Okay, so I'll just read the ones that want me to read it on air. Okay. I have Amarachi here. She says, I think these victims of domestic abuse do not speak up because they fear being criticized. The society, Nigerian society especially, criticize women who are bold enough to speak up, to walk away. They feel women should always try to make it work, and so the women of the newer generation grow up learning all of these. A woman who gets beaten by her husband speaks up and they ask her to pray to try to fix things. One who is raped speaks and they ask why she didn't scream, fight, and why she even went to visit her fellow human. They ask if she was dressed decently as though her nakedness means consent. All of these, the fears, the shame, they are the reasons the victims of domestic abuse I know couldn't and didn't speak up. Thank you so much, Miss Joy, for your platform. Okay, well, that's a lot to take. And I also want to thank you, Amarachi. I also want to state something. The way we romanticize women who suffer. There was this birthday. I don't go to events. I really don't like ceremonies of any kind. Weddings, burials. I don't go anywhere. I don't. But anyway, so I went to this particular one because I was forced. And it's supposed to be the anniversary of a couple. This is like they've been married for this one's have been married for 100 years. And I know her story. This woman suffered. There's nothing she didn't take from that. From the marriage and also the expectations of her children. And that's another thing. I am you don't get to place any expectations on me. I am a responsible mother. I take care of my kids. I pay their school fees. I give them shelter. I give them clothes. I'm actually I'm very laid back. I don't criticize my kids. I don't judge them because just do well in school. And then you fit in well. So I don't expect my kids to tell me how I'm going to live my life. No, you don't get to do that. See, I'm an adult. Okay. So anyways, what was I saying? All right. So at the ceremony, I know this woman's story. This woman suffered. For so many years, not even decades. And here we are. She's wrinkled. She's and they are celebrating an anniversary, and they start to romanticize her. Her children who should have saved her from all of that. She didn't accomplish her dreams. She was maltreated. She was disrespected. The kids did not exactly support her because they didn't want their mother to be that woman who left, yada, yada, yada. And here we are with this big fat cake and all of this decoration and food. And we are trying to tell our children at this party that it's okay to wait till you're 65 after suffering all of your life to be celebrated and romanticized as a good wife and good mother. I am very sure I was the only one that was thinking that crap in that place, because I just kept looking at it. You can't tell me this is the reason you lived, right? You can't tell me this is your story. This is what you accept. That eventually, because your children didn't want you to live, so you stayed and suffered, and then this man that treated you this way, and then here we are at you are 65. None of your personal dreams came true. You're probably even not with the person you love anymore. And we're going to celebrate that. Okay, let's eat this cake. And because of what Amarachi said, it kind of reminds me of that situation, how we just romanticize women who suffer. And then we have this deep-seated hatred for women who find their liberty. You will hate, so. You will hate. Because this life, we're going to live it. Anyway, so I have Victor here. Victor says, hi, Joy. I would say shame. Shame is what stops these women from going. I can't speak from experience because there have certainly been other incidences of unsavory behavior from past partners that I haven't told anyone about because I was ashamed. I'm supposed to know better, be smarter, be stronger. I'll feel less than if I allow something unsavory to be done to me by a partner. So it's really hard to put a hand to why these people stay. I agree, it's really hard. We're only just going to try. And you know why we try? We try so that it would be that we didn't leave the society the way we met the society. That's why we do what we do. You can't just see it. I'm very rebellious when it comes to things like this. Like, you can't just see a society like this and not question it. I don't understand it. And, that was why I actually stopped going to church because this idea of, I mean, the last time I went, they said, don't think, just let the word flow in your body. Don't think, I have a brain given to me by this God. They're telling me I shouldn't think, I shouldn't question, I shouldn't test the spirit, I shouldn't do it, I should just let the word flow. What does that even mean though? So we have to keep questioning, because we have to ensure that we live a better society in our own capacity. I'm a media person, I'm a writer, I write about these things. I will change the world in my own sphere, with the power that I have as a writer, as a storyteller, and as a broadcaster. Right? So it's very important that we're all not going to be presidents. We're all not going to be ministers. We're not going to be at the Senate. But wherever powers we have, wherever our powers are, we have to speak up, because we have to ensure that these things don't happen to our kids. I have really smart kids. I changed my kids' school in the middle of a term from one school to the other. They still went to the new school and came first. And I keep studying. They've always been first. They're always in the first. My kid, one of my daughters, her face is right there on the wall of the school because they celebrate the top students. And she came in the middle of a term, right? I'm thinking to myself, because I'm a deep thinker, I'm thinking, okay, these kids that excel so well, you're going to tell me that some marriage will happen to them sometime later in their life, and that marriage has the audacity to tell them not to pursue their dream, that you just sit at home and be what? Like, all of the things they could become, they would let it go because of marriage and children. Like, anybody can have kids. Like, mad women get pregnant. Think about that. It doesn't require any brains. It doesn't require any skill. Okay, requires some skill. Anyway, so it doesn't require anything extraordinary, unless you can't give birth. If you can, you can. That is how pedestrian it is. And to give up all of your dreams, to go first in school, to go and read engineering or whatever it is you want to read, and then give that all of that. You could literally change the world like Zuckerberg. You could do that, but no. You go and have kids and have a husband, and he tells you not to work. And somebody is telling me that that's okay? That's okay because we've done that all our lives? That's okay? That's okay? Nah, it's not okay. It's not okay. I think it's a conversation we should let children have, because, and I told my mom, because she, once in a while I said, no, you don't ever mention marriage to my kids, like in this stage of their life. Don't you ever try to position them for some kind of acceptance, male acceptance. Nah, it's not going to happen. These kids have to go out there and build bridges and build technology and do great things. Because you know what? Every other person can have kids and marriage. There is no skill to it. There is no talent to it. You don't need to be extraordinary to find a spouse. You don't need to do anything. You just find a spouse. Or sometimes you just get lucky. You find a good one. Sometimes you don't. You move on. You have kids. Everyone can have kids if they can. All right, I'm talking too much. Let me just I have one more music and I read one comment and I'm out of here. All right, I'm going to leave you with this. Jumoke says, misplaced hope. Hope that the abuser will change or the abuse will not be repeated. This is further buttressed by the cyclical nature of abuse. A pattern of extreme care followed by abuse, and then extreme pampering, then abuse, again and again, and so on. I also like to send some love to Temilola. Temilola, I got your message. I'm sending you hugs and love. Love and light. Have a good one. Okay, you'll be fine. Everything will be fine. Thank you all. I'll see you next week with another series of wonderful conversations and good music. The news is next. Enjoy the rest of your day.